Hi everyone, this is Sherri. I'm the inventor and patent owner for the Kayak Jack boat lift. I wanted to stop by and share a little more details about our mission, how the Kayak Jack came to be, and what our goals are for the future. My mission overall is to make kayaking more accessible. There are so many health benefits to being on the water, to being out in nature, and to being active. And as we get older, we want to continue to enjoy those activities that we were able to enjoy when we were younger. So overall, I want to make kayaking more accessible for more people, whether we are an aging population of outdoorsy people, somebody maybe a wounded warrior who had an injury but can still kayak when they're out on the water, maybe can't lift a kayak onto the roof rack, things like that. Or even just people who, because of their stature, maybe shorter women, it's difficult to get something that big, a 10 foot or 12 foot long kayak that weighs 50, 80, or 100 pounds onto a roof rack by yourself. I want to encourage accessibility and independence for people who love to get on the water. We all know there are a lot of emotional and mental benefits to being outside, but there are proven statistics that being on the water, the peacefulness and the serenity of it is really healthy for your mental health. And there are organizations such as Heroes on the Water, which I just signed up to be a volunteer for, that help get police officers and military personnel who are suffering with PTSD onto the water kayak fishing. And that is an amazing group, and I'm really excited to get started with them. Getting people on the water is healthy for their mental health, emotional health. We want to foster independence, being able to get out and kayak on your own without having to ask people to help you get your kayak onto and off of your roof rack. And just being out in adventure, the exploration, and being able to go places that you couldn't go before. One of the beautiful things that I've discovered in kayaking here in Delaware actually is there's a place where I love to go kayaking called Love Creek. And up the creek, once you get up there, you just feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere. And there is a bald eagle family out there. And for the first time, I got to see bald eagles up close. And I watched them soar over top of my head and to their nests in the trees. And it was just a beautiful experience. And there are just places you can only go by water, things you can only experience by water. And so getting out there and enjoying adventuring and exploration, enjoying independence, and just having the mental health, let alone the physical health of the paddling motion that you get from being outdoors in the fresh air and so forth. So we all want to be able to do that as long as we can into this life. So, what happened? Why did I invent it? Well, out of personal need. I was in my late 40s, early 50s. I was a single mother, and I really wanted to be able to kayak without having to go tap somebody to help me get my kayak onto a roof rack. I grew up on the water, and I loved the outdoors, and I knew I wanted to be kayaking more, but I wanted to be independent about it as well. The last thing I wanted to be was the damsel in distress. I did not want to have to go tap some guy on the shoulder and say, hey, can you help me get my kayak onto my roof rack? Because you just never know where something like that's going to go. And I did not want to be the damsel in distress, and I did not want to have to tell this gentleman, no, I'm really not hitting on you. I just need your help for a moment. So I hated those awkward moments. So I decided that I was going to invent something that could help me and other people like me get a kayak onto a roof rack independently. So what I did was I reached out to a patent attorney. I had the idea, I had some sketches. I'm no engineer, but I had an idea of what I needed, how it needed to work, what it needed to be, lightweight, portable, things like that. And I reached out to this patent attorney in Pittsburgh, and he was a godsend. I really believe this was a God moment, because not only was he a patent attorney, but he had formerly been a mechanical engineer, and he was an avid kayaker, and he had actually stopped kayaking because he was in his 70s and it was getting difficult. So I had the perfect person. He helped me get the sketches finished. He helped me get the patent in record time. We got it in 5 months, and he said he's never in 30 years or whatever he's been doing this scene one go through in such record time. So that was really an amazing godsend to me, and it just kind of made me realize that I'm onto something here. And I'm looking for something, that I can invent something that can help more people than just myself. It's not all about me. This is about making others more independent and helping those who have a disability or just disadvantage of some sort, whether it's height or strength, to be able to get out on the water and enjoy all the health benefits that we know are there with that kind of activity. So we now have our Kayak Jack in its third prototype, and we are nearing the end. So I've been told that by mid-August we will have a good working prototype. We can start making some videos and showing you how it works, and we can get it into production. So I'm planning on hitting some trade shows next year and really getting the word out. And like I said, I really want to get the prototype into the hands of some people who can really benefit from it, like the organization Heroes on the Water, where people with PTSD are servicemen and women, police officers, first responders, emergency personnel, where they can get on the water and enjoy kayak fishing in a safe environment, and just to kind of make it accessible for all of them as well. The populations that this will help are varied. Like I said, the Heroes on the Water organization, but also we are an aging population of adventure-seeking people. I'm 55 years old now. I have a new husband, and he and I love to get on the water. He's 63, and we have some bad shoulders. I actually had shoulder surgery on my right shoulder in December. It's much better now, but prior to that, I couldn't lift it over my head. My husband can't lift his arms up over his head with any kind of weight in them. So, but once we're on the water, we can paddle all day long, So being able to get our kayaks onto the roof rack, off of the roof rack, without having to ask for help is really important to us. A really fun story that I have, speaking of aging population, I was out on the beach in Cape Henlopen, Delaware, several months ago. We had a really beautiful day, and it was March, maybe February, March, and it was a beautiful day in the 60s and 70s. So I was out with a Kayak Jack shirt on. I had the logo on the back of the shirt, and I was taking pictures on the beach of some of our gear, the travel tumblers and so forth. And there was, we were just sitting there, and there were just a few people on the beach because it was still winter. And down the way a little bit was another couple in their chairs, and I guess they were watching me take the pictures of the stuff, and they could see the back of my shirt. So I was done, and I sat back down in the chair next to my husband, and we were just kind of shooting the breeze a little bit. And this couple decided they were leaving, and they packed up their chairs, and they were walking past us. And they were probably in their late 60s, early 70s. And the gentleman says, "Hey, when are you going to have that boat lift back in stock?" And I looked at him and I smiled, and his wife goes, "Yeah, we saw your logo and what you were doing, and we looked you up online on our cell phones, and we love kayaking." And he says, "Yeah, man, it's a bugger trying to get those kayaks even just into my pickup truck every day, and and we can't lift them up high and put them on top of her car, and it's becoming more difficult for us. So we could really use something like this." So it was one of those stories that just like, wow, I'm onto something here. I had another gentleman who emailed me when I almost at the beginning stages of this, and I was just working on the first prototype. And he emailed and he said, "This is going to prolong my career." He said, "I'm a river guide, and every day I have to load 2 kayaks, 2 canoes, and a John boat and get people on the water." And he said, "This will help me stay in my career longer." I think he said he was 63 years old. I had a woman who reached out to me and said, "I have been looking at my kayak. I'm a single woman, and I've been looking at my kayak sitting on my garage floor for years, and I keep thinking I need to sell it, and I haven't had the heart to sell it." And she goes, "Now, rather than selling it, I'm going to save my money to get a Kayak Jack." So it was really, really cool. Just to hear from people and to know that people really believe in this. I also received an email and then a phone call from a woman who owns a Yak Shack store, and she said, number one, she goes, "Hey, this is really cool. There aren't that many women who are in our line of work, with kayaking and so forth." And she said, I want to stock your Kayak Jack in my store. So you let me know when they're available. I'm going to sell them." She says, "You wouldn't believe how many people come into this store, and they're always trying to rig something to help them get their kayaks onto the roof rack." She goes, "The kayak fishermen in particular." And that brings me to another point. The kayak fishermen are going to love this product. Fishermen and women, I should say, are going to love this product because not only does it help you get your kayak onto your roof rack and off, but it doubles as a storage system because you can keep it in the lowered position and just roll your kayak into the garage, keeping it off of the ground. Or even if you roll it into the grass beside your garage or beside your house, it keeps it off the ground so that rodents and mud wasps and so forth, which is a problem for us, don't start nesting in your kayak and making it filthy. But it also then, a third purpose for it is it will double as a rigging station as well. So for rigging up your kayak fishing gear onto your kayak, it's going to be helpful as well. So we have 3 purposes there. The other nice thing about this is it will collapse. It is in its extended position. It is 2 feet wide by 4 feet long. And that'll fit into the average trunk. And I think it collapses to about 8 inches in height. So that's going to make it portable. You can put your kayak onto your roof rack, lower it. It's all remote control too, by the way, which is really cool. So there's no physical activity that's involved in it. But when you lower your kayak rack, kayak jack, after putting your kayak on the rack, you lower it and you can collapse it and put it into your trunk, take it to the water, and again, use it to get your kayak off. So it's portable, and it's manageable for most people. I also have a friend who I just sent some kayak gear to, and she says, I'm really short. She's like, I can't get a kayak. And she's young. She's, I think, in her late 20s. And she says, I can't get a kayak onto my roof rack. She said, I'm height challenged. So it helps a lot of people. So I just wanted to kind of, go over our mission, the people that we're looking to help here, and ask for your support. The prototype is nearing completion. We have the clothing, we have the shirts, we have hats, we have travel tumblers, we have bucket hats, boonie hats, SPF 50 vapor apparel shirts, and other solar shirts that you can wear for fishing and hiking and any outdoor activity. My son's a farmer, and he wears one of my shirts to the farm all the time, because not only the long sleeves protect him from the sun, but it also keeps him cool and keeps the bugs off of you and things like that. So please buy the gear, because it helps us earn money. I've invested in all of these to buy these pieces, and so now my goal is to sell them, to make some money, to help fund the production of the Kayak Jack. We will probably be having a pre-sale once we have that final prototype finished, and I can get more interest in it. So I'm asking all of you to support our brand. We are a 100% woman-owned business. I have invested all of my retirement in this. I believe in this, and I need more people who believe in it and want to be a part of it to support us. So please encourage your friends to buy the gear. They're really cute. Everybody loves our Woody. It's just a really fun logo, and I've been told by many people, like, hey, in fact, that's why I started the clothing brand. Was, I had the logo for the Jack, but everybody's like, hey, I love that logo. Can you put it on hats? Can you put it on shirts? So I started the clothing brand, to be like a lifestyle brand for people who love kayaking and outdoor activities and water sports. So if you buy the shirts and the hats, you're donating basically some of that money toward the production of the Kayak Jack itself, to make kayaking accessible for more people. So spread the word, sign up for the newsletter on the website, follow us on Instagram, all of our social media. Our handle is at the Kayak Jack. Kayak Jack itself wasn't available. So at the Kayak Jack on Instagram, Facebook, we're on Pinterest, and we have some YouTube videos out as well. But signing up for the newsletter will keep you best informed, and following on Instagram too. We're always on Instagram. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for believing in our product and our mission, and please spread the word. Take care.